Alright, so today we're going to change the brakes and the rotors, the front brakes and the rotors of a 2016 Toyota Corolla. But I believe this applies from 2013 to 17, I believe. Alright, so this step here is not immediate, but I'm just going to start with it. This is the brake fluid. What I want to do is try to pop the cap on this one and just give it a little air. You don't have to take it out completely. Reason being is when we start compressing, crazy to say compressing the compressor, but when you start compressing the compressor, right, the brake fluid in the brake line right here, I don't know if you can see it, kind of goes back into the container. And if your container is like kind of full, the reservoir, if it's kind of full, I don't even know where mine is. Let me wipe that down. Mine is not full, but sometimes the brake fluid comes back and causes pressure and can damage the brake lines if you don't give it an opening right here so it can spill over. You rather it spill over into the engine than cause a lot of pressure and pops the brake line, which is going to cost you a lot to get repaired, right? Then you really got to go to the mechanic. Another thing you want to do is leave the key in the ignition, and I'll show you why. Let's take a look at the wheel. With the key in the ignition, you can easily turn the brake pad to where you need to go. See that? So you can have more angle to get to the bolts. It's easier that way. So the key needs to be in the ignition. Alright? Check this one out. This one here is already done. Well, not done. I already took off the brake pad on this one, and look at how bad that was. Literally all the pad was gone, and this was metal grinding up against metal, right? And I got the rotor over there. I'm going to show you the process. I haven't taken the other one off. That's the one I'll show you guys the process on. But what you're going to need is a 14 millimeter. This is a 14 millimeter bolt right here that I took off of this, right? And then you're going to need a 17 millimeter. The 17 connects this and holds the brake pad in place, right? Right here, like that. So that's what you're going to need, a 17 and a 14. Something else that comes in handy, these are just little tricks, is like this is literally a shoestring. And what I did is when you free the, this is where the compressor is. That's the compressor right there. And this is your brake line. Some people take this and lean it up against this, which is kind of dangerous a little bit, because as you're sometimes hitting the brake pads to come off, this shakes, and if this falls and snaps this right here, now you got to get a whole new brake line done, and you really got to get to a mechanic, and it's going to cost you a ton of money, right? So you just take a shoestring, you tie it up so that this brake pad doesn't get damaged, and you just hook it up. You find somewhere to hook it up on, right? That's where I looped it on, and that saves you a little bit of damage on the brake line, right? Just a few tips right there. First thing you want to take off is the 14, right? And that's it. Counterclockwise, you take this off. That's the 14. Got another 14 up here. You can kind of leave that on there, quite frankly. But right now what you can do is lift that up, and you see this one is not as bad as the other one, but they both are done. See that? That's metal. Pads are gone. The pads are gone, so you can take the pads off. Next thing you want to do is the 17s. In order to make life easier, let me just take the other top 14 off, right? That's it. So the 14s are very easy to take off. The 17s are harder because they actually hold the brake pad. So what we need to do next is hang this up. As we mentioned, you know. Alright. So I had to get the good old shoestring. As you can see, this is the brake line right here. And if you never let this caliper just hang, because you're going to snap that, then it's going to be thousands of dollars of repair. So normally there's a gap right here. And I just like to loop in the shoestring right here. Alright, so good old shoestring right there. And that's that. So next we got to get to those 17s, right? 17s, you need an impact gun in order to break them free. This is the 17 back here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe I get a better angle. See that? That's the 17 and the 17. 17, 17. Those are the two that I'm going to work on right now. Once again, time is tight, right? So clockwise, you tighten it up. Counterclockwise, you loosen it up, right? So in order to go up, boom. That's the brake we were looking for. Same thing over here. That's it right there. You see it? Boom. And then we done. You can take it off with your hand. So you can save yourself that by getting an impact gun. But you know, I did it the old-fashioned way. And is that what that is? Is that what I think it is? And yup. So that's out. See that? You need a wire brush now to clean it up. So this is the problem, because this is like the original rotor, and you can kind of see it's all due for a change, right? It's old, but this is gonna be stuck. That's why it's good to have your wheels this way, because now we're gonna beat the brakes off, right? Literally. There it is. See that? Boom. And that's gone. So now we can put the new brake pads and rotors on. I'll show you the product and part numbers, okay? So these are your part numbers. This is the brake rotors, and that's the brake pad. Those are your part numbers. Alright. Both of them are Conquest. Alright. Cool. One thing you want to do, mine already did this a while ago. You want to wipe the rotors. I wiped them down already and had them air dry for hours. Because when they come off the factory or whatever, they got a little grease on them. And you don't want that grease on your pads. It's going to cause it to slide and slip. Okay? So So you really want to wipe it. This is already done. Wipe both sides thoroughly. Mine was already air drying. Another thing you really want to do is take a wire brush and brush all this off. I don't have a wire brush, so I'm going to wipe it as best as possible. You just want to get all the rust off. You know, makes your new rotor just function a lot better. Next thing we want to do is lubricate the pins, so this can actually come off. I hope you guys can see that. See that? I got some old lube from a while back. Just want to lubricate that. You can get these brake lubes at, you know, your local car repair parts store. Kind of want to get some of it in there like that. And there you have it. You want to do that for all of them. I bought some new one. Alright. This one, the lube was almost running out because it was so hard to get off. Next, these same thing. If you got a wire brush, it's probably best. You just want to clean these grooves because that's where your new brake pad is going to go. Right in there. So you want to kind of wipe them down thoroughly, or brush them if you have a wire brush. As I mentioned, I don't have one. I think I do, but I don't have any clue where I put it. So let's see. All right. See what I did right here? This is the old brake pad. I put on top of the compressor. So because it's a cup, and this is going to keep falling in, the C-clamp is going to keep falling in, so this gives it a flat surface, and then now you can just turn, and as you turn it, you can see the brake pad, the compressor going back in. It's going back in. So that's just another trick to be able to get that down. Because if you don't compress that in, your brake pads are not going to fit. This gap is not too good. As you drive and grind down the pad, that compressor keeps coming up. So in order for it to work, it needs to go back flat for the new brake pads to fit. Right? So that's just pretty easy. Pretty straightforward, and that's that. Alright, so you see that? Now that's back down. Once again, you just want to wipe everything around, wipe everything off, and you'll be good. Alright, so that's that. And now we just got to reassemble. Hard work is done. We just got to reassemble and put everything back together. So, all you want to do now is reverse engineer. Take my glove off to put this back on because I don't want any dirt on the rotor. So you put the rotor back on like that. Another trick, you can kind of take one of these lug nuts right here to kind of hold the rotor down in place. You can do the same, maybe use a couple. Alright. Makes your life a bit easier. Right there. See that? Don't know if you can see that. Tell you what, so we don't damage this line right here, let's just reattach that real quick. We need a 14 to do that. You don't want to do all of that to save your brake line and then snap it at the last minute. So let's get that in right now. And you want to align. Get your 17 in over there. Do the same for the other end. Remember, you can always open this up and put your brake pads in, so don't worry too much about that. Alright, so now we put the brake pads in. Grind in. Ugh. Don't want to do that. Alright. So you just open this up. And you put in the new pads. Right there. See this groove? You want your brake pads to go in there. So you got two of them. You got one here, one there. One here, one there. So you want your brake pads to go in them. Now, you hope this thing can just slide right in, which it does, so you are all set. And that's it. Sometimes if the brake pads are too thick, it may not. You may have to shave something off a little bit. But in this case, we're all set. I'm not going to tighten those up because first I want to make sure these 17s are super tight before I get to the 14s. These 14s, you don't need to do too much of a tight. You don't want to tighten them up too much.
color. Just want to give them a little tug. Alright, and that's that. What I am going to pay a mechanic to do is align the tires for me after I'm done with this, which is like 80 bucks. But that right there, ladies and gentlemen, can save you about $2,000. And it doesn't even take that long. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below if you got any questions. Stay tuned. We out.